Alright, here are the notes we're going to cover for 12.1. The last little bit of this notes page that we did not cover in class will be covered here in 12.1, which is a way of representing three-dimensional figures in a two-dimensional surface. There's a lot of different ways we could do this. Some of you might have done a lot of this before, either in an art class or a drafting class, so some of this will be review for some of you. However, for the most part, this is new information for a lot of you, and it might test your understanding of spatial visualization or your ability to draw. It really does not have as much to do with any kind of drawing ability, so don't worry too much about that. But it is going to help us better represent things on our papers and better understand things about three-dimensional figures, and so we're going to make sure we cover this. All right, let's start off right away with this first vocab term, which is an isometric view, and all that means is it's a three-dimensional view or a view or perspective of a three-dimensional object that we could also call a corner view. Okay, it's just a view from a corner. So this would be like a front view, and if I turn that to view it from a corner, I get an isometric view. So here's our front view, and I turn it to the corner, and I get an isometric view. Okay, and there's a lot of different ways we could look at that from a different corner depending on how we want to look at that, and it gives us a better understanding of 3D space. But then we have what's called isometric dot paper, which is kind of like graph paper, but it uses these dots arranged in a certain pattern to be able to help us better represent things in an isometric view. And so we're going to use that in example 1 to be able to sketch a triangular prism that is 3 units high with bases that are right triangles with legs of 5 and 4. And so this is how that's going to work. Okay, we're going to be dealing with a triangular prism that is 3 units high. That means the height, the distance between the bases, is 3 units. And the bases that are right triangles, it's a lot easier to draw right triangles here, with legs that are 5 units and 4 units long. And so the bases are going to be shaped somewhat like this. Okay, where we have 4 units and 5 units. We've got 2 of those bases. But I'm actually going to start by drawing a 3-unit height here. Okay, I'm just going to give myself plenty of room, so I'm going to start in this top left corner. Okay, I'm going to draw a base of 3 units, or I'm sorry, a height of 3 units. And then from that one edge, I'm going to make my bottom base sides first of legs of 5 and 4 inches. So I'm going to come diagonally this way. We're providing a corner view. So this 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually going to make my length of 5 here. Okay, that length of 5 is actually at a right angle. Imagine kind of a perspective. That represents a right angle. And then I'm going to make a length of 4. You can label it 5 if you want. I'm going to make a length of 4 at a right angle here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so there's the leg of 4. Now, I'm going to pretend like this is the bottom front corner, so this would have an edge going 3 units high again from here. And this would have an edge going 3 units high from here. And if I connect these vertices, I get the matching base like this, where I have another 5 by 4 right triangle. Well, we can see that top edge of that triangle by connecting and there we have our orthographic view, where we have right triangles for our bases, and then it's 3 units high. And so we're viewing this from this corner. This is not the only way to draw this diagram, but it is one way. All right. So these are our I'm sorry, I think I said the wrong word. But this is an isometric drawing. Then we have what are called orthographic drawings. An orthographic drawing takes this isometric idea and it represents 4 main, actually there are 6 main orthographic drawings we could do, but we're going to focus on 4 of them. And those are top, left, front, and right views. Okay, if I were to view this figure from the very top, from the left, from the right, and from the front, we could have these figures. Okay, so we're just going to focus on those 4. The top, the left and right, and from the front. Now, with the top, I could also view from the bottom. With the front, I could view from the back, and that's where we get another 2 we could draw. But for now, we're just going to focus on these 4. Okay, so this is our figure. You can kind of tell from the isometric drawing that it is, think of this being made from cubes or blocks. There are 4 blocks on the bottom, and then on this kind of upper right hand side we have 2 blocks stacked on top, and then another 1 block at the very top. So from our top view, okay, this is one surface. Okay, and this is our second surface 1 level down. They use these bolder lines to represent different levels. And then this would be 3 and 4. So there's your top view. Okay? From the left, if I imagine the very left side, okay, this would be the shape of an L. Okay, you can kind of see where it comes out like that. From the front, I have these 2 in front and then this smaller L shape in the back. And then from the right, I have this smaller L shape, but then 1 level back you see that other one rising above it. And so we're going to try and do our best to draw those orthographic drawings for this shape. Okay, we're going to assume from the top, it looks down on the figure from this direction. From the left, we're going to look at it from this point of view. From the right, we're going to look at it from this point of view. From the front, we're going to look at it from this point of view. Okay, so let's take a look at our top side drawing first. Okay, from the top, looking straight down, okay, we have this surface here as a cube, and then I'm going to use a solid, bold line to separate that from this cube, which is another level higher. And then I've got another one, which would be that one. So I've shown these 3 surfaces, 1, 2, 3 in that order. But then it's another bold line there, because I have another 4th level down. But these are on the same level, so I'm not going to put a bold line there. And that's essentially what our top view would look like. Okay, or I can draw that a little more carefully this way. And if I had graph paper, it would be a little bit easier. Okay, there are 4 different levels represented here. So I want bold lines separating all 4 of those levels. Okay, from the left, we're looking at it from this angle, so I'm going to have a level of 2 on the front of my view from the left. Okay, and then above that, separating that with the bold line, I would see the top there. And then another bold line here, because all the way at the back there's 1 more sticking out. So I've got bold lines there and there. From the front, would be viewing it this way, I would have a base of 4 units. But this one on the very front is going to be bold because it's sticking out. But then all the rest of these are all on 1 level. And then it comes up another row. And then this one at the top. But the only bold line I have is this one sticking out. And then from the right, I'd be looking at it from this direction. So there's a lot of different levels here. We would start off with the very base of 2. But that's a bold line there. Because then I go back another level. So I've got another bold line, and it just kind of stair steps its way up to that top level. And that's all we would see. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then this one on the 4th. Okay? Now, we will do more practice with this in class, and so it'll get a little bit easier, but these are our different views, our 4 orthographic drawings. Okay, in example 3, we're going to talk about what a cross-section is. A cross-section is the intersection of a solid and a plane. So if I take a solid and imagine cutting through it with a plane, think of taking a block of cheese and slicing it, that's a cross section. So a cross section will always be a two-dimensional shape. There's a lot of different cross sections we could have. So here they've given us this example of a hemisphere. Okay, they want you to describe the horizontal and vertical cross sections of this following half sphere or hemisphere. Well, a horizontal cross section would be any kind of surface that cuts through at a horizontal, okay, and that's going to give us a shape that is parallel to this bottom part of the hemisphere. That would be a circle. Okay, so that'd be a circle. The horizontal cross section is a circle that is parallel to the base. The base of our hemisphere is also a circle. Our vertical cross section, okay, is going to cut through at a right angle. Okay, and that would be a half circle. Or semicircle that is perpendicular to the base. Okay, and that's what a cross section is. We'll take a look at more cross sections in class as well as these different views and get a better understanding of how to represent things in 3 dimensions.